Just stop waiting for the buyer to be in front of your face to give them that information. You could be giving that information weekly on your social media.
Good morning. Welcome to another Real Estate First Friday. My name is Matt Hodge, Executive Vice President here at LPT Realty, joined by Lewis Furman, my co-EVP and brother.
Well, not officially. Come on, you're going to confuse everybody. What's
confuse
up
everybody. My brother through long years of friendship, a decade of friendship and business. We're excited to be here with you today. It has been a long week. It seems like each Friday, we're at that period of time of the year where it's just, these weeks are long, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's some times where they start zooming by and there's some times you're like, oh my goodness, it's only Tuesday.
And it feels like the whole year's been like that.
Yeah.
Every week feels short.
Yeah.
It's funny because
I feel like it feels long.
You feel like it feels long?
Yeah.
I'm blinking and we're in September. We're like, how did we
The
get
week
here?
is long, the year is short.
So when you're in the
That makes
grind,
any
it feels
sense.
long, but at the end of the week, it feels short. It's the craziest combination. How does that happen?
All right, I don't know. We've completely digressed. Let's bring in Will Grimes. I just want to give you a quick story about who he is and basically what him and his team and his network has accomplished. And so, we like to bring in people who are experts in a particular niche. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to go and adopt this entire playbook. This is what he does as a specialty. But what we like to do is bring agents who are focusing on one area of the business and exposing you to it so that you can pick and choose what makes most sense about what they do to bring into your business. And maybe it's all of it, maybe it's a small portion of it, but we want to be able to bring you with that knowledge. So we're going to go ahead and bring in Will Grimes. And today's topic is going to be building your brand through social media and through short form, which would be considered, like Instagram, Facebook, things like that. And then also long form, which would be like YouTube. Hey, I'm going to go do a review of a neighborhood, a review of an area, and that may be 4 or 5, 10 minutes or whatever. And people are getting to learn the area and learn you through it. So Will Grimes has had a lot of success with that. Will, welcome to the show, brother. How are you?
Welcome, man.
How are you guys? I feel like I'm still trying to figure out which side of the fence I'm on with how I feel, whether it's been a long year or a fast year or a long week.
It's all over, man.
It's all over.
Yeah.
It's all over.
Forgive me. I'm trying to figure out I love both of you guys for great reasons, but I'm like, which guy am I today? With
I'm with you, man. It's like, hey, it's been a long morning, but a short week, but a long year, but a quick
Long
month.
day.
It's like we're all over the place. But hey, man. So real quick, if you could give us a background, so a little bit about how you are utilizing social media to grow your business. How long is it taking you? How many total subscribers and reach do you have right now? And then we'll kind of break that down. But I think that could be a great starting point so that people understand, the expertise that you're coming through.
Yeah, 100%. So I've been in real estate for about 8 years. Prior to that, I did some time in special operations and some law enforcement things, prior to doing that. And I helped a buddy grow a fitness company, which will be super important for today when it comes to types of content that we did when we grew a franchise fitness company, kind of like GNCs, like supplement stores. We did food prep and some other great things, but we went from 2 to 14 franchises in 2 years with no outside assistance from franchise companies, and it was all content based. So there's going to be some things we talk about today, but roughly we're over 1 million downloads on our podcast. I'm over or right at 300,000 followers on Instagram. We have thousands of followers on YouTube as well. Well over 10,000 on a niche living in Denver. So if you get plus 10,000 subscribers that are looking for a specific thing that they're intentionally searching, that's actually significantly more powerful than my 300,000 on Instagram, right? That might be just a very broad genre. So we're going to talk about different types of audiences today. But the biggest thing that we've done is understand not just short form and long form content, but understand the different types of platforms and how to utilize them best for the audience that you are looking for.
So I think that's actually super powerful because you're saying, hey, it is more impactful to have a couple thousand people on YouTube who are looking for something specific versus the broad reach of, say, 300,000 on your social media. You feel like it's more impactful from that smaller, more targeted audience?
And here's why. Last year alone, we sold 140 homes from folks calling, texting, and emailing us on our YouTube channel that we're moving to Denver, right? Our average price point is just over $1 million here in Colorado, as far as not the average in Colorado, but our average for our business. We're just over $1 million on our average sale. So if you guys can imagine the math on 140 homes sold, that's just from people calling in from our YouTube channel saying, hey, we love your channel. We're moving to Denver, et cetera, et cetera. We'd love for you guys to help us. Or, hey, we're selling a home here in Denver, et cetera, et cetera. We'd love for you guys to help us. So if you guys do the math on your commissions, on 140 homes just from YouTube alone, versus a lot of my Instagram is more for realtor to realtor and it's for coaching. And if we're just being transparent, I make about $500,000 from Instagram on direct to consumer folks that pay me to coach them as a real estate coach. It doesn't even bat an eye to the commissions that we get via YouTube, which is well over multiple seven figures that people call text and email. But it's 12, 13,000 subscribers, but it's not so much the ad spend we're getting from YouTube, right? It's not about that. It's about people calling, texting, and emailing, saying, Will, I live in Florida. I run a huge company as a VP, but I saw your channel and I no longer want to live in Orlando. I want to live in Denver with you. My name is Hodge. I can't wait to get to Denver. Help me out. And I help you buy a home in Denver, and then I receive a commission for that, correct? So we're looking at GCI through clientele on YouTube versus people adding up the ad spend on how many views you get. It's a different style, right? It's educational, it's living in style. It's not for the masses so I can get 10 million views and get ad spend from YouTube. It's the clientele you receive. And then the same thing on Instagram. There's promotions that I do with companies if I believe in a company, but it's more so people reaching out saying, I saw you speak here and I'd love some help. What does coaching with you look like? And they become a client. But again, that's at 300,000 and it's not even half of what we do on YouTube with 12,000.
That's amazing.
I mean, I'm super excited to jump into today's subject matter. I mean, this is an area me personally, like I don't have a lot of experience in. And I will tell you, in conversations with a lot of agents, like this is the most, what they call like the scariest form of advertising or marketing. Like agents feel very vulnerable when they go inside of the social media space. And, you know, it takes a lot of organization, planning, dedication to basically succeed in this space. And as you kind of, you know, indicated, Will, it's, you know, articulating, you know, who your targeted audience is, right? Like who are you looking to target inside of social media? And then what is the story that you are telling? You know, unlike maybe other forms of advertisements where it's like a direct sale can happen, you know, in social, like it takes a prolonged series to basically tell your story, right. Tell who you are, you know, captivate your audience, influence your audience. So I'm going to be very excited to kind of learn along everybody else here today with Will sharing his expertise.
If everyone goes to willgrimes.com, we have created something for you guys just for everyone that is on the show today. So on willgrimes.com, if you guys go there, you can download these guides. I have for free for you just for showing up today. You guys will have a YouTube quick start guide. This covers our gear list of everything that we use. This covers video outline guides. This shows you how we create our titles, and it gives you the software we use to get started. It's yours. It's free, willgrimes.com. There's another one downloadable for our 30-day podcast launch. Do not sleep on podcasts. And this gives you our entire podcast course that we've sold for a long time. It's at no cost to you. You can go in here, you can create your little thing, and you get our podcast course absolutely free. So if there's things we can't cover today, no problem. willgrimes.com, you get all of this for free. Dive in. If you guys have questions, throw me a DM on Instagram. I'm very known for responding to everybody. So if there's any questions after today, in addition to those pieces that you get, please let me know.
I love it, man. I love it. And that's just another reason why LPT is so amazing to me, man. Like the entrepreneurs within inside of our four walls are always giving back. And I love that piece of it, man. So thank you for that. All right. Starting point. It sounds like we've got some material there, but I'm brand new. I'm intimidated by social media. I'm still at the phase where I'm like, everything has to be perfect. And I have gone through that where I'm like, oh, I don't want to put it out because I looked a little to the left at that moment. You know, like there's people who are there. So how do we get from there to 300,000 or a business that thrives or some aspect of business that's consistently coming from social media? Where do we start?
100%. Two answers there. The first answer is, you know, one is a tactical, one is more, psychological. All I heard was I. We're leaders in our community. I'm not comfortable. I'm nervous. I'm this. You're just making it about you, and you're not understanding your role as a professional in real estate and that we're here to serve. And a lot of folks, regardless of interest rates, they need to sell. There's a death in the family and they're selling. There's a job change and they're selling. There's kids going off to college and they're selling. There's relocation for their career and they're buying. Whatever it may be, there are needs there. And it's our job to make sure that we are full of temperance and professional and knowledgeable, and we're giving that to the public so they know where to go to actually get advice. I feel like realtors, all of us can arguably say, I care about my clients the most. And if I don't know an answer, I'm going to do whatever it takes to find that answer. then great. Then they should be working with you, correct? So if you're the secret agent and no one knows who you are, I'm not sure what your influence is going to be. The second piece to that question, Hodge, is if you are the news and you're transcribing everything and everything you say is perfect and et cetera, people don't like you. They don't trust you. Like you're taking this powerful thing called video where people have the opportunity to get to know you and feel your personality and feel what you have to say, and you're becoming a robot and you don't get that trust element. So like, for example, in Colorado, we have the Front Range and the Western Slope. The Front Range is the mountains that faces Denver. The Western Slope is the backside of that. I don't agree. I think the Western Slope should be the main piece. It sounds cooler. I'm a native. I've always said it. So on our YouTube, I will never say Front Range. I always say Western Slope. And then, we make a funny noise on the video and they write the correct name below it and everyone gets a great laugh, right? So as far as being perfect, the only way you can actually be perfect is to be yourself and to enjoy. A tip that I will give you guys is if you're going on to social media, go live. Go live. Everyone gets an alert that you're live, and whatever you mess up, it's on there. It's getting ripped. It just gives you those times to just really get reps in and practice and be a part of that, right? So that's the main thing when it comes to answering that question, Hodge, of the I's and then how do I get through things? What we love doing is creating bullet points and then obviously speaking to what we know. If I don't know how to talk about something, I probably shouldn't be talking about it. So whether it's education-based with inspection objections and negotiations and educating consumers on that side, or whether it's talking about Denver and educating people on Denver, if I haven't done, some homework or if I'm not familiar with it, I shouldn't speak to it. But I feel like everybody knows real estate that's watching this, and everybody probably knows their areas. So if they're getting started with like the YouTube thing, there's your start. You're familiar with what you're talking about. The last thing to that question is YouTube is evergreen. So when you guys learn on our software of how we create titles, there's no guesswork. And what's amazing is as long as people are searching something via Google or YouTube, that video is going to pop up. When I throw something on Facebook or Instagram, it's going to show for a day or two, and then it kind of goes away, and I have to recreate the content versus YouTube. You don't. And for those that don't understand why I mentioned Google, Google owns YouTube. So when people are Googling things, YouTube videos are now showing up at the top of Google, and they don't say sponsored because Google wants to significantly promote their purchase in YouTube, right? So even more reason why evergreen is a great direction to go.
Yeah, so that's an important point. So I want to just unpack, or I guess maybe go a little deeper on one particular thing. And so when you're saying the strategy for putting different content in different places, like, hey, your social media, I know you said this at the very beginning, your social media is your realtor, your business to business, that coaching program. But when it comes to driving actual real estate transactions, you find that to be a better platform through YouTube because of the reviews and the people looking specifically for something. And it becomes harder to find that on social media. So if you are wanting to build a strategy around social media, let's say, like, hey, I'm not ready to quite make my way to long form, I want to do something on YouTube. What is this? Social media, what's the strategy there?
Education based absolutely crushes. If we could all assume, for example, what's the process when we have a buyer? They, whether it's a lead or it's a referral or your neighbor, you come in contact with said person and you have a phone call that we call a discovery call. And we use Ford, right? Family, occupation, recreation, dream. Hodge calls me, hey man, I got your number from, Lewis. I'm looking at moving to Denver. Hey, great, man. What's your story? That's your little discovery call. Then we go into that buyer presentation of looking at areas, looking at deal breakers that you don't want, looking at price points that you'd like to spend. Then we start talking about looking at homes online, looking at homes in person, submitting offers, inspections, negotiations, appraisals, final walkthroughs, post occupancies. We kind of give that whole thing before we even start looking with buyers, correct? That's like 14 different points. Those are 14 different videos you could have on your Facebook. And if you're picking something once a week to talk about, I just gave you 14 weeks of topics. It's everything you already do. Just stop waiting for the buyer to be in front of your face to give them that information. You could be giving that information weekly on your social media. And it's a great way to grab your local sphere, right? Your sphere of influence, the people that know you on Facebook that are your friends, and maybe someone that they refer you to. On the YouTube side, it's very living in experience because it's search based. We're getting in front of significantly more people on YouTube on a national level than I would ever have on my Facebook. That's more of a local level. Which one's better? It's not so much better. It's just different, right? If I'm a Denver Bronco fan, there's ways of selling tickets locally to Denver Bronco fans. And then there's ways of bringing international attention to the Denver Broncos, correct? So it's really just understanding which ones are which and how to use. But education-based content, it has significantly been always more important and converting, whether it's on the process or whether it's on the experience of Denver. Now, the reason why we do that on YouTube is because no one's searching what is an inspection in Colorado. No one's searching what is earnest money on YouTube. They're searching top neighborhoods in Denver, best school districts in Denver, top neighborhoods we don't know about in Denver, commute from this town to this town in Denver. They're not at the phase yet where they want to know about the actual real estate transaction. They want to know where they're going to move and where they're going to live. On my Facebook, where my stuff's going to pop up in your newsfeed regardless because you're not searching for anything, I give real estate specific advice, right? So you just have to understand how to use the platforms.
So one of the things you've mastered on social is like this notion of like captivating your targeted audience, you know, being relatable to your targeted audience. And that tends to be like one of those hardest codes to crack. Like, how am I going to be relatable to my audience? How am I going to captivate my audience? What advice would you give somebody who has that question? Like, I can go out there, I can develop the content, I'll establish the playbook, the black and whiteness of it, but how do I become relatable? Like, what do you tell that person to help them overcome that aspect of it?
You might not be relatable. Like, it's subjective to your audience watching you and what they deem is relatable to them. And I'll be for some people, I won't be for some people. But here's what I'll tell you. We have clients from ages right now of like 78 years old, all the way down to 24 years old on both sides of a political fence, on both sides of ages and backgrounds. I want to be believable more than I want to be relatable. People are trusting you with the most expensive sells and buys of their life. As much as it's nice to relate to them, you'd rather have them trust you as a professional, right? If you guys were going to court, as much as you'd like to relate and be mutual Bronco fans with your lawyer, it's better you trust that he's the best guy that will listen and understand your position to help you win. It's no different in real estate. We're just not necessarily going to prison, right? But it's still expensive. And there's a lot of emotion involved with moving, whether it's local or you're moving from out of state. I need to be trustworthy, which means I need to have a clear message on what I want to speak about. And I need to be darn consistent. If I can't find a way to be consistent on my own platforms with my own brand, why would I ever be consistent with helping you on your real estate needs? Second to that, how would I ever expect you to see me if I'm not consistent? People don't see my video on Facebook every day. Not everybody sees my Instagram. Like for right now, if we just pop up Instagram and I go there, we've got 298,000 followers. But on my most recent post, I have 6,000 likes and I have a couple hundred shares. Okay. 6,000 likes. But I have 300,000 followers. Not everyone sees every post. Maybe they were present, maybe they read it, maybe they didn't, right? So you have to remember, part of the consistency isn't just so we're trustworthy and we show a certain level of professionalism. It's also because they just might not have seen the last post. And when social media is not evergreen like YouTube, you have to be consistent so the content continues to pop up for your audience.
Great question and great answer. I think that brings a lot of clarity to the process. Like if I want to get started and I want to utilize one of these mediums, I'm understanding at least how to interact with it. How much time do you spend per week, I guess, filming and recording and like your whole process? And how long is it taking you to get to where you are today?
The channel's been around for about 4 years. And the first year we made 800,000 in GCI, right? Like our commissions, we made 800,000. It's been over 7 figures every year ever since. We've had it for going on 4.5 years. I've had social media for about 5 years. I started that after I left that fitness company and I started growing my Facebook has always been hyper local. I'll get a couple hundred likes or 100 likes on my Facebook. And I keep that hyper local for the friends since high school, the coworkers since I was a police officer, Marines. It's very hyper local and I'm okay with that. Instagram has a lot more international flex to it. And I'll tell you, I didn't grow my Instagram posting more on Instagram. Again, understanding platforms, coming from the background that I come from and the leadership things that I've had was very romantic in business because of guys like Jocko Willick and some other very big special operations guys that decided to go into business. What I started to do was utilize YouTube and utilize podcasts to grow my social media. And what I mean is I've been on probably 200 different podcasts around the country, around the world, where guys like Andy Frisella, Rich Sommers, the Drew Barrymore show, we've been on these shows. And when I'm on those shows, like I guarantee you, Hodge, being on the show with you guys today, there's a couple hundred people in here. Some of them had no idea who I am, but they might go follow me. If you're posting more, your audience is primarily going to see that, not necessarily a different. But if I go on to Hodge's podcast, and Hodge has the second largest podcast in real estate, how many more people am I getting in front of? Mm-hmm. And if Hodge trusts me enough to be on his show, then I've automatically gotten the trust from others that watch his show. When I was on Andy Frisella's show, I want to say I grew 40,000 followers in probably 3.5 months after that show. People were sending cookies to my house. My wife was like, "You're not going to eat those, are you?" Like, oh, it's poisoning me. But it was understanding I need to go out and get this message, right? Like I've got to understand not just how to use the platforms myself, but understanding most of the content you guys watch on Instagram was not made on Instagram. It was a YouTube channel that's sharing content. It was TikTok that's sharing content. It's podcasts. Like when we see Joe Rogan, he's not Instagramming on Instagram. Like he's not videoing on Instagram. It's his podcast that gets clipped and then shared to his social media. I understood that very early on. So the main reason we built a podcast was so I could invite people on to interview them and share. And guess what they did for me if I did a good job? They invited me on to theirs, right? So when it comes to real estate, I'll tell you this, less than 1% of realtors are even using YouTube. If you've heard of this living in concept before and you're too late, you couldn't possibly be too late. Less than 1% of realtors are using, and guys, those were like real trend numbers or something wild that was on one of the main real estate Instagrams that were showing that. In addition to that, even fewer are utilizing podcast platforms. So it's not so much I need to be on this platform and how many hours do I put into it. I just spend the hours into the relationships and putting myself onto the other platforms that feed the social media platforms.
That's interesting to think about that. I mean, I guess I never really thought about that, right? Mm-hmm. Like when you are seeing Joe Rogan or any of these people, it's because it is a clip from something else that is then being transported to that, yeah. It's not native to IG. That's an interesting thought. I guess I kind of want to start putting someone in some actionable items. We're getting started. So we address that, hey, if you're thinking about the I, you're thinking about it wrong. You are there to serve the consumer. Shift your mindset. It's going to take the pressure off of you. You don't need to be perfect. You need to think about how you're going to serve your people at a higher level and how you can get in front of them. So that's kind of like that first piece. Second piece is understanding which information goes where. Like YouTube long form, that's going to be something that, hey, I want to know about this neighborhood, this school, this area, this lifestyle, what it's like to interact and live in this space. Like that's better for YouTube than it, say, would be for IG or social media, where social media could be, hey, here are all the 14 steps of buying the house, breaking that down into small snippets. So that seems kind of like right. So if I want to create a starting point and I'm asking my people, go out this weekend and do this, what would you say that is?
Regardless of platform that you guys pick, whether it's your social media and doing better at that, because I think we could all do better and nip tuck our social media, or you're ready for YouTube, DM me and I will walk you through it and we will help you in addition to the PDF that we gave you guys a downloadable today. Understand two things. Regardless of platforms, you have two different types of content. You have capturing and you have creating, okay? Creating content is picking a topic of discussion, sitting down and speaking to it. We are creating content right now with you guys. This is a content creation. Capturing would be like the weather guy out in the tornado, filming the tornado as it's going on, right? Like 100% when you're on your social media, capturing what you're doing. If I'm taking Hodge out to go see some homes in Denver, like I haven't talked him into Denver enough yet, right? Like if I'm showing him, and let's say Hodge had some great questions about the areas he's looking at living in Denver, when I'm done with my little after action report and wrapping up for the evening with Hodge looking at homes, could I take those same 3 questions I thought were great and could I go to my Facebook and say, hey guys, happy Wednesday. Listen, I've got some clients in town from Florida and they're amazing. And listen, while I was helping them, they had 3 questions I thought are important for everyone, whether you're local or whether you're moving from out of state. So listen, whether you're working with me or with someone else, make sure you really listen to these 3 things. And then I get into it. And there was my call to action. Whether you're working with me or with someone else, make sure you really pay attention to these 3 questions. So I'm literally just taking what I learned or what I thought was great about the showings with my client, and I'm hopping on and I'm giving those shareables, those valuables to my audience. When you're on social media, you could capture what you're out there doing all the time, but just make it educational so it's valuable to your consumer. On other platforms that are bigger, like podcasts and like YouTube, and I'm talking about the top 2 neighborhoods you must see in Denver, well, I'm picking a topic of discussion and I'm going to go out and I'm going to create content around that, which means I better make sure that my titles and whatever marry up to what people are searching. If I'm creating something, it's got to be searchable. If I'm using my Facebooks and my local followers where they're going to see it regardless of what it is, capture what you do. You're checking the box that you're busy. You don't just need your closing photo to show you're busy. You're out there, you're busy, you're doing your job, but there's something of value to give to someone, right? So if you can understand content creation, content capturing style, and then where they go, you will be off to a great start.
Fantastic.
Yes,
Yeah.
awesome.
Absolutely love that, man.
Yeah.
Like I truly appreciate you disseminating your information to others. Like that's just, again, as Hodge mentioned early on, like that's a true testament of this amazing community that we've built. So please, guys, we encourage you, download those contents, those links that Will posted on there. He's even extended to, you know, be DM'd and have one-on-ones with you and mastermind and collaborate with you. So that's totally cool because, again, this is a space that not a lot of us have a lot of experience in. As you said, 1% was it of agents even utilize these platforms correctly and adequately. So this is a massive opportunity for you to interject in your business, and you may find a new passion, right? You may find a new level of excitement that you can carry inside of your businesses.
Just to be fair, you guys have had my back at Inman and some things we were doing for Most Innovative Agent and events we had going on there, or anything I've ever needed as far as being a friend, being a brother, a mentor. I've had private conversations with both of you. I've spoken about my career, where I'd like to go. You guys have had nothing but my back and giving nothing but being a resource and friendship. This is why just me personally, I'm so excited to share as much as I can, because I have found the culture where we are just about making realtors and people better. And I want to publicly thank you guys for the 2 guys you've been for me since I've been here, as far as a friend and a brother and just someone I can come to if I need something.
We definitely appreciate it. And so, guys, if you can, real quick, I would say follow us on social media, but Lewis doesn't have any social media.
So follow him on social media.
So make sure you follow Will. Slide up into his DMs.
I may have to launch it after this. This is giving me motivation. I'm inspired.
Yes, we
All right.
We got the expert here. But yeah, definitely give Will a follow. You know, see what he's doing. Learn from him. If that's something that you want to incorporate inside your business, even if it's just something you want to bolt onto. You don't want to make a full pivot. You just want to put a little bit. I think that is a fantastic. So make sure you follow Will Grimes. Search for his YouTube channel. You'll get an idea of what he's doing, and hopefully that inspires you to also create something in your business. And also give me a follow too, and I'll let Lewis know that I'll take some photos with Lewis. Have a great and blessed weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Motivation on Monday.